Hey guys, welcome back to another pet care video. Today we are building a new bin cage for my hamster Pippin. The tools we used are some wire mesh, a retractable knife, a pair of wire cutters, a dry erase marker, some zip ties, a ruler, a lighter, and a plastic storage bin. I got all my tools from Home Depot and my bin from Target. Kids, if you're watching this video and want to make a bin cage for your hamster, make sure you have an adult's help to build it. My dad helped me build this cage and I couldn't do it without him. First, start off by measuring a rectangular piece of the mesh to go on either the top or sides of the cage. This is for ventilation, so it should be pretty large or go on multiple sides of the bin. I put mine on the top, so I measured how big the top was and cut a smaller piece out of the mesh. While I was cutting the wire, I realized it was actually cutting me a lot more than I thought, so at this point I went inside and grabbed some gardening gloves to protect my hands. After I cut the piece out, I realized that I needed to make the piece I cut out of the top to be smaller than the mesh so that the wire can overlap and prevent any sharp pieces of the wire being accessible to my hamster. So I measured a smaller rectangle and redrew the space I wanted to cut the plastic out of. After planning out where I wanted to cut, I drew small holes in the space around the drawn rectangle to show where the holes would later be drilled. The holes drilled are for the zip ties, which will be attached later to hold the mesh in place. To cut the area in the top, my dad used a lighter to heat up the knife and then slide it through the plastic, but the lighter wouldn't work well outside, so we actually had to take it in the garage to use it. Cutting the plastic was pretty difficult. The knife wasn't actually getting hot enough to actually cut all the way through, so my dad had to pretty much just force it through the plastic. Because of this, the lines weren't all that straight, but as long as it's a smaller piece than the mesh cut out earlier, then it's completely fine. Next, my dad helped me further by using his drill to make holes in the sides and the top. We cut about 20 because I had bought a pack of 20 zip ties. It doesn't really matter how many holes you drill for the zip ties, but there just needs to be enough to secure the lid and prevent any hamster escape. After the holes were drilled, we went inside to attach the zip ties because it was really cold and the hard part was already done. So now I just washed the marks I made off of the top and started to attach the zip ties. It's fairly straightforward from here. I had someone hold down the mesh for me while I zip tied because it wasn't flat. Alternating sides, I attached all 20 zip ties and the top was really secure. Make sure you attach the mesh to the outside of the cage to prevent your hamster from being able to get to the sharp bits. Sandy came over to say hi at this point. She loves Pippin. She is so interested in everything he's doing, so she never really left us alone after this. Also, Pippin woke up like halfway through, so I brought him out to show him the progress on his bin cage. What a cutie! Here's what the top looked like after all of our hard work. The only other thing I did was cut the zip ties down a little bit to make them shorter and stick out a little less. And finally, here's what the bin cage looked like after we were all done. This can be a great way to house your hamster if you're willing to put in the work to make it. Because most pet stores sell cages way under the recommended 450 square inches of floor space, many people turn to the cheaper, bigger option of a bin cage or a DIY cage. I'm actually using this one as a travel cage of sorts, and it's always good to have a backup. I'm going away for a few days during spring break, and my grandparents are watching Pippin for me. It's too hard to try and transport his 40-gallon tank, so I built this for him to stay at their house with. I hope you guys enjoyed this bin cage tutorial. I've really been procrastinating editing this video. I had over 2 hours of footage, so that's why I haven't uploaded in a while. Don't worry though, I'm going to be filming a travel vlog over spring break. It should be up tomorrow. See you guys later. Bye!